Hey guys, I'm back. I just thought I'd come on and say a quick hi because I have actually got some channeled messages for you all ever since the New Year's, ever since I feel like there has been a bit of a shift, and I've just been getting a lot of messages to kind of get out to mainly to the divine feminine collective out there, because I for some reason feel like there are some people that need to hear it. And also, I just wanted to say hi, and yeah, I thought maybe some of you are interested to see what 6 months of growth looks like with absolutely no haircut, because those of you that don't know, I shaved my head. Anyway, this was when I was on my yoga course in India. So I'm back in the UK, I'm still getting settled in, and like I said before, if you watched my latest reading, I'm actually going to be going away for a couple of weeks, so I haven't got everything sorted out yet, so communications are still a little bit sketchy at the moment, but once I get back, I will have lots of exciting things to kind of get on with. I've got a few reminders before. I've got a little update of, I don't know who these messages are for, but updates with, if you've been looking at a lot of readings at the moment, they're all saying kind of union is imminent, people are breaking up with karmics, blah, 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 blah. I haven't heard anything from my masculine, but that's absolutely fine, because I'm just in this state of just complete ease, weirdly enough, is the only way I can really put it. It's not that I don't miss him, I absolutely do, but I've come to a place where I'm so at peace with the fact that I'm always going to feel his energy around me, and that's absolutely fine, and I don't need to, that sense of attachment has completely gone, and it's so important. The message that I wanted to say was that connection and attachment are completely different things, and you can still completely be completely connected, and the less attached you are, the more connected you can be. And I'm not just talking, obviously the way that we see this first is with this whole twin flame connection thing, but that's just a stepping stone to kind of make you see how connected you are with absolutely everything else. But that's like a massive step, right, to kind of like go to in terms of that level of consciousness. So the way that you realize that it's possible is firstly with just one person, if you're genuinely on this path. And I'm experientially just at a place where I'm like, okay, I feel that sense of connection, and it's only when you kind of like drop all that sense of attachment that you can really kind of really appreciate it and not get triggered and hurt and all the rest of it. If you've been following my channel for a long time, you'll remember before I went on my yoga course especially, I was saying things like, oh my god, I just feel disgusted, I just feel so repulsed by him, so repelled, and blah blah blah. And there was so much resistance there, and I don't judge these things, because with me, I'm like, if you feel it, you feel it, and it's only really by kind of really acknowledging these things that when they actually do kind of go away and drop away, that they genuinely have done that. And I'm at this space. I've just gone through 6 months of really intense kind of spiritual work. I was doing 7 hours plus of real kind of time-tested practices that elevate you. That's what yoga, traditional hatha, classical hatha yoga does. I don't think any other style actually does it, in my experience, and I've done quite a few. But like, I'm at a stage now where, this is what I've been trying to say, I'm at a stage now where I don't feel all of those things that made me want to run away, that made me, I didn't want to look at, that made me feel really disgusted by the things that he'd done and blah 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 blah. They've just kind of melted away. They've genuinely kind of melted away, and I'm just left with a place of, I'm just left in a space, I should say, of complete ease and complete like acceptance. And this is where I wanted to be, and I never thought that I would actually get here, because I was like, too much has happened, and that's just not the case. It's like, I actually messaged him maybe a month ago, saying like, I actually would like to connect, and this is where I realized. And he was just like, I don't think that's a good idea, and I was like, that's completely cool, I totally understand, because it could have been awkward, and he is clearly not in that space where he wants to do that, and that's fine. but I'm at a place where I'm totally cool with it. I'm literally like, okay, it doesn't make me feel any less connected to you, and I'm cool with that. And I also don't feel bad about whatever's going on. Like, he's free to do whatever he wants, and I'm free to do whatever I want, and whatever's going to happen is going to happen. It's really strange because, you know, I did do a reading for myself, actually. When was that? A couple of days ago. And everything was pointing to him breaking up with the karmic and blah, 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 blah. And I was like, whatever, it doesn't, I haven't heard anything from him. And it's I don't even have a judgment. I don't have a feeling over that reading, but I found it interesting because I didn't, I wasn't looking for it to resonate or not, interestingly enough, but all of the other, it was completely in sync with every single other reading that seems to be happening with other people at the moment. And it's interesting. The reason I'm bringing it up is because I don't see any evidence of it in the physical, and I'm quite happy to get on with life. Like, I'm not waiting for anything to happen at the moment, and I felt like it was really important for me to come out and say that. It's not that I'm not waiting, it's just I've just got to, there are things that I need to do, and I'm really kind of prioritizing getting my onto mission, if you want to call it mission. You know, I don't like these labels anymore. I don't like the twin flame label, I don't like the runner, I don't like the chaser. I've not liked those for a very long time. And I'm not liking the whole kind of, you know, calling people a karmic, calling people a soulmate or anything. I just feel like I don't really want to use any of them anymore. Like, I don't find them that necessary, but I will use them. And the distinction I want to make is because that's just how other people relate to things. And another thing I want to say is that I feel like it's, especially if you've been following my channel for a long time, you'll kind of know what I'm like. I don't think that I feel like so many people are talking, there are a lot of people that are very, very looking to help and teach and all the rest of it. And I think there is a real danger, danger is not the right word, I want to just put it out there, that's card reading and things like that, in my experience, and bearing in mind I've just come back from some serious, you know, spiritual work. I have a guru, I have, like, you know, I come from a heritage of just people going after kind of liberation and really, really seeking. This is nothing new to me. So, like, card reading and stuff is not spirituality for me. I think it was said best, ironically enough, by my own guru, when he said, like, if you want solace, that's when you can go to things like horoscopes and astrology and card reading and stuff. And there's nothing wrong with it. But if you want real spirituality, it's different. And I'm someone who, I'm a seeker. I want answers. I want everything. I want it all. I don't just want a relationship. I don't just want a particular person. It's always been bigger than that. And I think for a time I got a bit blinkered and I got a bit sidetracked, and that's when I kind of gave up on my spirituality for a little while, and that's when everything kind of fell apart. And I had my real kind of tower moments, and I got involved in I went down this complete rabbit hole. And I think it's really important that people remember that that's not what it's about. It's about real spirituality, and real spirituality for me is yoga, and meditation, and time-tested spiritual practices that have been proven to work. Nothing has worked for me like classical hatha yoga and the meditations that I have been initiated into by my guru, who's an enlightened master himself. And I want to start talking about that a lot more on my channel, because I think, you know, it's something that a lot of people view it with a lot of suspicion, and you shouldn't at all. Everybody has their own guru, whether you know it or not. It's just, I consciously have chosen my guru, but for, you know, guru means a dispeller of darkness being ignorance. And for many people, YouTube could be your guru. Just a million people could be your guru, and the caliber of those people, it varies. And I don't say that I'm a guru myself, because I would say I could teach you how to be a really good seeker. That's what I can do. And you know, at the end of the day, we are our own guru because we are the ones that let in whatever information we let in. And you have to be, in order to be your own guru, you have to be your own student as well, so you have to be the best possible student you can. I don't know if I've really kind of expressed that very, very well, but I will be going into it more on the channel. So I wanted to say that don't give too much of your power away to people on YouTube, because whether you know it or not, what they say, you're going to absorb it and internalize it, and depending on your own level of awareness, that's how much you're going to kind of internalize it and make it your own, and make it your own reality, and absorb it into your own life. So the higher that person's vibration is, the better it's going to be for you. But if they're coming themselves from a place of fear or a little bit of insecurity, or maybe they're a bit deluded, they could even be deluded, you don't know, you know, someone's saying that they're hearing things and they're seeing things. How do you know? You don't know for sure, right? Like nobody, like don't, so what I'm saying is take everything with a pinch of salt. When I do a reading for myself, I take it with a pinch of salt. And it's so important that you own what you resonate with and what you don't resonate with. But at the end of the day, you are on there because you're looking for guidance yourself. So, you know, the caliber of who you're listening to really, really does matter. And that's why I have a guru myself, who I trust as an enlightened being, because he's the smartest, most wise person that I've ever known. His name's Sadhguru, for those of you that don't know. Anyway, that said, readings even and channeled messages, take them with an 1111 as I start I start on this after the disclaimer. There are some channeled messages that I have got, and I feel like I need to say them to you. So I'm going to go ahead and I don't know and tell you them, but I don't know who these are for. And as always, take what resonates, leave the rest. So I'm really, really getting that the divine masculine collective really want to rush in. And they are really, really wanting to rush in. They're not really sure how to. And also there is certain things from the past that they know weren't ideal, but they don't really want to acknowledge them. So it's almost like they want to come in and just pretend that these things didn't happen. But they need to be addressed, and it's important. It might be too painful. So that's why they don't want to do it. They don't want to look at it for that reason. But it's like that that attitude is like having a splinter and not walking on the foot that has a splinter and trying to hop to your destination, where it would be actually much better if you actually, you know, pulled out the splinter, even though it might sting a little bit, and then you could initially, you know, it'll be much more comfortable to walk, and that's the best in the long term, because it's not gonna get infected. It's not just gonna skyrocket and get worse and worse and worse. It's not gonna snowball, I should say. But they are definitely breaking away from the people or situations or ways of thinking, or they could be breaking away from or cleaning up things with the people, situations or ways of thinking that have caused them to give into the temptation to stay in a karmic cycle. And that, whether that karmic cycle or in a karmic relationship, whether that is with a person, with their family, with their friends, with a romantic relationship, job, living situation. This could even be hobbies and lifestyle choices that are kind of keeping you and your divine counterpart, apart. So, I can't read my handwriting. It's almost like they don't want to offend anyone, and they don't want to kind of step on anyone's toes and cause conflict. And this kind of avoidance is causing more internal conflict. So basically, I'm really getting that the divine masculine is not feeling it. They've made a decision. They made a decision weeks ago to move away, that the whatever situation they're in at the moment is not working for them, but they don't know how they're going to move forward yet. They don't know how they're going to approach the divine feminine. And I'm getting that I was seeing the karmic that my twin is with, but I think that was, I don't think that this is a reflection of what is happening in their relationship. I think I was only shown that because that's how I would recognize that this is what's happening in the collective and get the message out. But I was seeing the karmic in tears, and I was getting the impression that even, like I said, I'm not saying that this is happening with them in a personal situation. This is just a general thing that I was shown to get the message out to some certain people. The karmic is even getting fed up with the way things are going, the toing and the froing, and the fact that they feel that they are putting in more effort and they are feeling the relationship more, blah, blah, blah. And again, I don't know who these messages are for. I'm not getting a particular feeling that they are for me in particular. I just don't know anymore, but I know that they are for some people. This is very much to do with the end of the Uranus, however you want to call that planet, retrograde. And in readings that I was doing, and I was seeing the Tower moment a lot. The Tower was coming up loads, but that's kind of given way now, and I'm seeing much more. I did a reading for that time when I did a reading for myself, and all the signs were saying, like, you know, they're not facing each other, they're splitting up, or, you know, there was a lot of Queen of Swords and Ten of Wands energy, and I was definitely getting the impression that this was true for a lot of other people as well. It was a collective thing, but I also had the Tower was there, and then that is the card that comes before the Star card. And for me, the Tower has always been Uranus energy. It's been shocking, revolutionary, and quite a lot of unrest. But that Uranus is the planet of Aquarius. The Star, which is the card that comes after the Tower, is the card officially of Aquarius. And we're just about to come into Aquarius season. And the Star, of course, is about wishes coming true. It's about direction. It's about like a shining light. It's like the North Star. So the divine masculine is very much is kind of emerging, reborn. It's to do with self-esteem. It's to do with confidence. It's to do with leadership. And I'm getting that it's a real clearing away. That Tower moment was a real clearing away of self-loathing, of guilt, of shame, of all of these things that he has let hold him back in the past. And he's gonna consciously put those things down, or they would have been taken away, they would have been shattered by divine intervention in some cases. But the guilt and the shame is what's going away, because the foundations were very shaky before, because they were built on self-loathing, they were built on guilt, they were built on shame, they were built on a lack of real authenticity, and that is what is going. So that's a very, very positive thing. The divine masculine, he did feel, and a lot of them will still be in that energy right now, and they're in the process of clearing that away and making sense of it. But they felt very, very, very bad about the past, and they were thinking back, feeling that shame, feeling that guilt, and feeling a real sense of fear that their counterparts will never forgive them, and that they'll never be able to come back from this kind of the horrible actions that they've done in the past, that they thought that were horrible, and you know, you'll never take them back. So it was feelings of abandonment, fears of abandonment, concerns about all of that. But forgiveness is a big theme. You know, the things that we're going to have to question is what it means to really, really forgive. And that's not just like a superficial, yeah, I forgive them because I want them back. It's a real, you know, if they came back, are you going to see their face and be immediately reminded of all the horrible things that they've done? Which I think I was, you know, if just not to go on about myself, but, you know, this channel is about you seeing things and me reflecting them back to you so that you can make sense of it yourself. And that's quite, you know, that's kind of like my gift to you almost. So it's not like I just want to sit here and talk about myself. And that's a distinction I think it's important to remember, because I had a certain shitty comment before, and I answered it, and that person felt a little bit silly and took the comment down. But, you know, just in case anyone's thinking that, this is why I do it. So think about what it means to really forgive. Because I know for me, if you were listening to the videos that I did before I was going to India, before I actually went, and I was like, oh my God, I feel disgusted, I feel really repulsed by him, blah, blah, blah. I was coming from that sense, because I had forgiven him mentally, completely, but I was still being, you know, triggered by it in that way. And that's what's completely gone away now, and it's because of all the spiritual work that I've put in. It does work. Classical Hatha yoga works. I can't just praise it enough, and I can teach it now. Anyway, so forgiveness is a big theme, and for them also, they're really concerned that, you know, have you forgiven them? Have they forgiven themselves? Also, they've got a fear of running out of time. Time is passing, and they've missed the boat. That you'll move on. You'll not find them attractive anymore. You'll not be able to find it in you to actually love them. These are all concerns that this group are having in their mind, and it's something that the Divine Feminine Collective are being encouraged to really look at and ask yourself those questions as well. Like, how do you feel about that? You know, the running out of time. That can you really, really kind of get past it? And have they missed the boat? Have you moved on? Or, you know, and either way, it's absolutely fine. But I was told, you know, you need to ask yourself these questions. Are you attracted to them? Can you find it in yourself to totally forgive them? And, you know, the rest of it, excuse me, because to move on, it's very, very, very important. It's equally important that at this time, the Divine Feminine finds it in them to really see the Divine Masculine in their very best light, because you are connected to this person. You are just as you're connected to everything else in creation. So the less, you know, you see anything as wrong, and the more accepting you could be of everything, even the things that you find really horrible. You know, if you can do this with one person, this person is like the doorway to you being able to feel that kind of sense of connection and acceptance with everything. And as I said that, it was 21:12 on the clock. It's a beautiful mirroring. You are indeed a reflection of everything. So so really find it within yourself to see the Divine Masculine in the best light, and just realize that you are connected. You can't break the connection. So that's why it's important for you to be able to see them in a good light, because it's a reflection of yourself. It's very important that the Divine Masculine can see himself as a hero, and because that's what's going to give them the confidence to actually kind of not see themselves as a villain, because they have been seeing themselves as a bit of a villain, and it's been making them feel really shit, basically. But to get them out of that, it will really help if the Divine Feminine can see them in their best possible light. If you can see them as a bit of a hero, see that, you know, like everyone, there's a reason why people do what they do. And recently I've been feeling so much compassion for my twin, because I thought, you know what, yeah, he did some shitty things, but to do those things, he must have been in a really shitty place. Like, to kind of ghost someone, you have to have a pretty low self-esteem. There's something you can't face within yourself. You can't face another person. And it was 2222 as I started saying that. So anyway, enough of looking at the clock. It's like also very important that you to not interfere too much in the sense that you don't need to go in there and tell them you need to do this and you need to do that and blah, 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 blah. It's more just how you are within yourself and how you are being and how you view them. That's going to make the biggest transformation, is what I'm getting. It's going to be very metaphysical. It's going to be very, and it's all about, essentially, it's all about the Divine Feminine and how you see yourself as well. Because, not how you see yourself, but how you are within yourself. Because the more accepting you are, that's what's going to really alchemize your own energy, if that makes sense. And it's going to really, really help with your own powers of manifestation and your own powers of attracting really wonderful, abundant things towards yourself. Is the message that I've been getting recently. So it's all about acceptance, but it's important to not interfere, because that could almost, there's a group of people that do want to go out there and do something and say something and interfere and meddle. And I don't know, I'm not saying this to attack you or anything, but if you do that, that's I'm getting a real sense of aggression. It's actually kind of, or controlling, it's that kind of aggressive, controlling vibe, and it's not really, I'm being shown that it's not helpful. It's going to be, you know, what's going to be a lot more helpful is just that sense of just allowing things to happen. So that's something to think about. If that resonates with you, then that was a message for you. But the real power is just thinking about them in the highest, holding them in the highest light and the highest way that you possibly can within yourself and within your mind and within your energy. And in the meantime, work on how you can be absolutely fine with everything that's happened, with everything that they've done, with everything that you used to maybe feel triggered by, or you could feel triggered by, anything that you could, the words that I've written down are sad, hurt, angry when you think of the past. And i.e. don't take it personally. Sorry, a lot of this was like automatic writing where you just channel things and you write, and it's, yeah, my handwriting is a little bit hard to decipher, so bear with me. So yeah, it's really, really important that, like I said, if you can, and my method for doing this is classical hatha yoga and meditation, and consistently do it every day. That's what's got me to a point where I'm totally at ease and not triggered by the stuff that's happened in the past, and I've managed to actually be where I wanted to be, where I dreamt of being, which is at a place of acceptance. And I honestly, I kept, every day I'd wake up and I'd be like, am I there yet? Am I there yet? Am I there yet? And you know, I knew that I needed to be there, and other people, even a psychic who I went to was like, you know, you're going to be at this place and this is when stuff is going to happen, blah 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 blah. And I was like, I'm never going to get there. I'm never going to get there. I'm really, you know, I've got a temper on me. Like, I'm always going to be triggered and made angry by stuff and blah 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 blah. And then I woke up one day and I was like, oh my days, it's gone. So it works. So yeah, anyone that is interested in the hatha yoga, please do message me. There are some very, very, very beautiful practices that you can do, and it's all about self-practice. This is all about, you don't need to come and see me every week. You don't need to, you know, go to a studio and fork out loads of money, because yoga's expensive, right? Like, it's very much you do a course, and then you do your self-practice, and then I'm always going to be there if you need some guidance after that, and some, you know, troubleshooting and whatnot. So if you're interested, do get in touch. I'll be teaching around London from now. So I will do some more videos about the practices that I'm actually going to be teaching as well. So yes, make sure that you are in a place, work in whatever way, in the best way that you can right now, where you are not sad or hurt or angry when you think about the things that have happened in the past, when you think about the worst possible things that your twin has done in the past, stuff that used to upset you. In other words, it's really important to not take things personally. You know, be generous to yourself and be generous to them in accepting, you know, what they've done, and also be generous to yourself for accepting what they did to you for whatever length of time you did take it. That's another very, very, very important thing. So I'll say it again, be generous to them in accepting what they've done, and that they did it because they thought that was the best thing to do at the time, and be generous to yourself for accepting that kind of that stuff that they did, and you know, thinking that it was okay for that time as well. So it's also very important, this is the last bit really, to let it go. You know, let it go to the universe and the divine, and trust that the universe, the divine, God, whatever you want to call it, that it's got your back, and it's got this, like, in the same way that you were brought together in a certain way by a certain situation or a series of events, whatever, a certain energy brought you together, and that certain energy, if you're meant to be together again, will bring you together again, and it will get you where you need to be. But the less resistance you have, this is where acceptance comes in again. And classical hatha yoga is the only thing that has worked for me, and I've tried everything. I've tried, you know, all sorts, and everything else was so superficial in comparison. But yoga, classical hatha yoga, is about getting you in alignment with the cosmos, and it does it in miraculous ways that you won't understand, and you don't need to understand. All you need to understand is that it works, and the only way you'll find out if it works or not is if you try it, and if you do it, and if you do it every day. Anyway, that's all I'm going to say about that. I hope that you found these messages useful, because they're really, really powerful at the moment, and I feel like things are going to happen in people's careers. Things are going to happen in people's your personal lives, to do with your health, to do with a lot of resolutions. I don't know if you've been making resolutions around New Year's, and I don't know if you know, you've been manifesting a little bit more than usual, but this is really a time where anything that you've kind of set, any goals, any wishes, any intentions that you set for yourself on a personal level, on a professional level, on a romantic level, on a health level, on an abundance level, spiritual level, they're all going to start happening. They're really, really, really going to start happening in a much, much deeper, much more subtle and much more powerful way than before. So if anyone would like to get in touch, please do. Things are going to be a little bit sketchy in terms of my communications until after I'm back from Orlando. I'm going for a family wedding and I can't wait. But please do get in touch. It's 1111queenofheaven@gmail.com, and I will speak to you guys very soon. I'll try and do another reading or two before I go. Bye.